And so I went out and ran them. And to be honest with you, the way I was treated uh, was something I hadn't experienced with the boys hockey. Girls were coming up after the practice, thanking me for coming out. Really appreciate it. Hope to see you again. Um, and in the males world, I'm not saying some of them weren't appreciative or not. It was different. It was a whole different world. And so Colin convinced me that he wanted to do everything he could to try and get female hockey somewhat on par with the boys hockey.
Yeah.
And so I agreed to do it. And we did everything. We only had 1 hour of practice to start with. We didn't have much in the way of equipment or support. And we went at it. And we started adding more ice time. We were able to get more equipment. We got more sponsorship. And to be honest with you, Geraldine Haney was on that original midget team.
Yeah.
And because Geraldine and I were together for 17 years.
Was she on the boys team?
No, she was on. This is girls hockey now.
Okay.
And this was midget. She was on that midget girls team that the Cullen asked me to come out and get involved with. And then we went from midget. We took them senior. And it was kind of cool because, well, it's very cool. Because not only did I watch people grow up, I also watched the sport grow up, Wally. Because we didn't have a world championship then until 1990. We didn't have any Olympics. We didn't have Title IX, which took off in the mid 90s. So I got to watch a sport grow, and I got to watch these players grow up because I stayed with them for so long. You know, a lot of the players played with the Arrows for 10, 12 years was very, very common. Oh. And so I got to watch them grow up. I watched them go off to school, universities, get married, have kids, start careers. And on some parallels, I got to get involved a little bit with the national program in '99 after we lost the Olympics in '98 in Nagano. And I had probably a 10-year experience with the national program, which I really super enjoyed, as you know. And, I still love the game. I still love coaching. I still love being on the ice. I don't know how much longer I'll be on the ice, but I'm on the ice right now and I'm enjoying it. But it doesn't matter to me now what level necessarily I coach or what age group. I just like being with a group of people, trying to teach them some life skills and some hockey and have some fun.
Ken, I'm recording this. I just wanted to give you a heads up. I'm going to, promote the fact you're coming on, and I want to, the audience to know a little bit of who you are. And it's no problem if you repeat this, because who knows even who listens to the stuff I send out.
Yeah.
But getting you together to talk and hear that story, it's really intriguing. I've got a question that I don't know that I would ask at that session, but I'm going to contact some of the women involved out there. Kim McCullough is usually on, and Sammy Jo Small is usually on.
Yep.
But I'm going to try to contact a few more people that I know in the female side, because I'm really intrigued about your past experience and how you've managed to succeed and stay at the sport so long. We have one guy on the Sharks. His name is Tom Malloy.
Yep.
And you should type his name in and search his site, which is called ABCs of Coaching. He's my age, and he's coached hockey longer than anybody. He's still coaching the state female team, and he's coached midget AAA girls here. He's won national championships with Mount Royal College. He's been in Europe a lot, working in Finland with really high up people there, but he's sort of been a outcast in Canada because he went to Europe before we appreciated Europe, and he coached in Austria, but he's on. And we've got some people that are really keen on the female game, and he's dealing with challenges, and I may bring some of them up with him on to talk about how you would deal with them. Like, I'll give you one example. He had a first year player, pretty good player, who said she had to go home and deal with some issues, and he didn't ask her what it was. He just, no problem. And she was away for more than 2 weeks, so he called her and said, what's up? And he said, we really do need you. We've only got like 14 players plus 2 goalies. And she said, well, and she was a first year, like 18 years old or 19. She says, I'm dealing with a custody of my child. And that pretty much encapsulates what, most coaches in the male side would not experience, and the human side of coaching and the life side. But he's the kind of guy that handles these issues really well. He's very understanding. But just to have you on and talk with everybody would be absolutely huge. So I'm going to edit the first part of this talk out where you talked about your background for people to look at. But on Thursday, like once you get going, Kenny, you're the kind of guy, just keep going. And I'll usually interrupt to say, Ken, I got a question. Because I know there's people in the audience that, like with Tim Bothwell, he might be listening and he's over in China.
Wow.
He'll probably join our call. He joins every week, but usually he's in Calgary. So if he's listening, I might ask the question, as a mentor, what have you learned about dealing with Team Hungary with Lisa being the head coach? What suggestions have you had to make to her? What were the observations and what did she handle really well? And your role as a mentor with her, which Tim might be able to chime in on. Even if he isn't on, I'll get him to chime in. I'll just talk about what he's already done. He's basically taken the transmit belief philosophy, which is, I think, the job of any teacher or coach or parent, to just get people to believe in themselves and achieve whatever goal they want to try to achieve. And that's sort of where I come from with this whole show. And boy, it's going to be just great having you on. But I have one question, and that is, how did you get involved with Fran and Pat and the Women's Hockey Association, the OW? Was there a period where it was created, and you were there?
As this midget team entered into senior hockey, at one point I was coaching against Fran. She was playing. And she was starting to get very involved in the upper echelon of women's hockey here. And so that was kind of my first interaction. Fran, I knew that. So we were playing senior hockey and we won her. I got to know her when we went to provincials, her and Pat. And I remember in '89 when we won our first provincial championship and got to go to the nationals. Obviously, they were heavily involved, and so we grew. I don't know what the right word is. I have a lot of respect for them. I like to consider they're good. They're good friends of mine. It's just and there again, I watched how influential Fran Ryder was in the growth of the game for the first, for that whole period of time, the first Worlds, the first Olympics, all of that, and I just. Watch what she grew here with the Ontario Women's Hockey Association. Yeah. And, like I said, we don't always agree, but I think there's a lot of respect on both sides. I can go even further back. My sister, who's older than I am, played in women's hockey here in the Toronto area in the 60s. And she was older. And Fran was playing in that league, and that league was kind of a predecessor to everything that went on in the 60s. Some of the players still wore figure skates, and some of them wore hockey skates. And I remember going to watch my sister play, and I didn't know that was Fran at the time, but as it turns out, later on, I got to know that she knew, she was playing in that league and knew a lot of the people who were running teams at that time. So, like I said, she's, they've done a ton for the development of the game. I mean, I don't want to get myself in trouble, but the truth is they embarrassed Hockey Canada and the International Ice Federation when they held the first World Tournament in '87, because none of the males at that time felt that women's hockey was ready for a World Championship. And the OWHA held it here in Ontario, and they pulled it off. I mean, the States were here. I can't remember all the teams, but there was quite a few countries here, and it was held at North York Centennial, or what's now, I can't remember the new name of it. Oh, the Herb Carnegie Arena now. And they pulled it off, and it went really, really well. And so begrudgingly, the males, had to concede the fact, okay, maybe women's hockey is ready for a World Championship. And as you know, the first one took place in Ottawa.
Well, Ken, that's exactly, that's the point I like to make. It when our group meets, I interrupt often to discuss female hockey. I bring in Tim Bothwell. He's coaching Team Norway. He's worked with the national teams. But once they like to get on guys hockey, some of them, and that's sort of the struggle. Now with Sammy Jo on, I'll always ask her a question about her take on with her experience with the Pro League or whatever, and the challenges of male hockey versus female hockey. And everything I edited from Peter Smith's thing, and there's 1 minute short tidbits from that presentation. I think you got a copy of the breakdown.
Okay.
And if you check your emails and go in there, and just 17 topics ranging from 1 minute to 18 minutes. And you can read the title of the topic and pick one, click on it, and view it.
Okay.
And that sort of gives you an idea. Female coach talking about how he created a culture from club hockey at of McGill University. I think you'd love every one of the topics, because Peter speaks really well about how he came in and took over the program. So I'm just excited about having you on, and I'm going to.
And by the way, I am working with the PHF. I'm actually the head scout for Canada. So.
Now, what is that? PHF is the what?
That's the professional league that Lisa Haley is vice president of hockey operations, and that's the Toronto Six, and it's the pro league with Boston and Buffalo and Minnesota and the two New York State teams. Or sorry, I think one's Connecticut, one's New York State. And I mean, Lisa asked me to get involved because I like that kind of stuff, that kind of research. And all I'm really doing is helping the teams get ready for the draft every year.
Yeah.
But Lisa knows at the end of the day, I just want to see the two sides come together, Wally. I just want to see a well-run professional league in my lifetime.
Yeah. Well, I like what the PHF has done, because there's so many quality players coming through now, getting a chance to play the next level. And I watched the series now where they played the All-Star team, Team Canada.
Yeah.
And I went there with Tim Bothwell, and I thought they competed really well. It's just helping grow the female game.
Yeah, and that's at the end of the day, that's all I want to see happen, Wally. I want to see the game grow at all levels. I want to see the focus change a little bit. I want, like, when I agree to, I don't know what the right word is, but when people ask my opinion on different things like that, I want to make sure the people I'm interacting with are in it for the right reasons. And if I get the sense that they are, then I got all the time in the world for anybody like that.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure they're in it for the right reasons. I want to make sure they understand at the end of the day, this has got to be a really great experience for the young ladies, whatever age they are, whatever skill level they are.
Yeah.
And I'm all for teaching them the game, and whether it's on the technical side or tactical side or whatever, but I also want them to learn life skills.
Yeah.
And I also want them to stay in love with the game.